hey, I need a portal. I need some place where we can go in and make real changes to budgets in real time for multiple people whenever we want, and immediately have those changes being reflected, or very quickly having those changes reflected in my reporting. This scenario gives me the ability to have visuals or now build a new experience. And Microsoft's even talked about this. They've talked about there's potentially new visuals coming that are going to be built by Microsoft. They're going to enable you to edit data in a report and have that data automatically be sent back to the SQL server, which will then automatically be pushed back into the reporting. So there's been a lot of companies that have been solving this. I'm trying to think of, Power
Power
On
on.
is one of the companies, which I think got bought out by someone at some point. Power On's been a company. There's been a couple other ones over there as well. They're doing a lot of this real-time analytical things, which is great. I mean, I think it serves a need. We have these needs of being able to enter in budgets, estimates, and things of those natures and keep them up to date. Yeah, thanks, Greg. The word here is write back, right? So the write back experience, that's what we're talking about. But I mean, it's funny that we talk about write back, because write back is like this concept that's like, you just get it with the SQL server. Like, it is, the whole thing is called writing back. It's just doing its job. InfoRiver is another good one. Yeah, thanks, Greg. InfoRiver is another company that does write back as well. So that experience now exists, whereas previously we used data flows Gen 2, and that whole, we always had to wait for like the data flows Gen 1 or 2 to like refresh itself, and then we could then utilize that data somewhere else.
And the problem, and that's a really good point, because I want to say this with all the love in the world for data flows Gen 1. And I know I've said this before, but my first true love was data flows Gen 1. I remember the day it came out, because it was the day after my first daughter was born. And I remember I was so upset. I was happy because my daughter was born, but I was upset because I was on paternity leave and I couldn't work with data flows, and I was so excited to. So I remember I'll just never forget that moment. But the problem with write back, here's the thing though. This is where data flows Gen 1, and again, I say this with all the love in the world, they fall short. You cannot write back to the final result of a data flow Gen 1. It is stored in Power BI. The only place I can connect to it is the semantic model and data marts. But if I'm going to be technical here, but it's read only. I'm not talking to it. Now, the problem, if we want to do that dynamic write back, if we want to say we need to be translytical, well, that's a SQL database.